Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So the last video, this is where we left off. So we had created this job called build Windows, Linux and Mac, where we are spinning up the environment, preparing the environment variables, and then checking out the code, installing all the dependencies that we need, downloading Godot, downloading the export templates for Godot, and then finally doing all the export for all uh, the Godot projects that we have, right? So we have Windows 64, Windows 32, Linux 64, Linux 32, Mac, and then finally doing all the server export for server, auth, and gateway, right? So this is where we left off, and as you can see, all of them are green, and we have got the builds ready for each of them. So which means that in this video we can now publish this exported client builds to h.io. So that is what we'll be covering in this video. So as you guys know, h.io is a platform where you can publish a lot of games, all the indie games and everything that you're creating. You can publish it over here for free, unlike in Steam. So this is like a place where all the indie devs usually publish, and it also provides us with a way where we can deploy automatically, like publish automatically all the games that we are creating. So they have created a tool called Butler. So you have to, if I can search here, yeah. So this is a tool that itch.io has created called Butler, and this is a tool that we'll be using to automatically publish all the exported client builds that we have over here. Okay. So to install this, all we need to do is just download the latest Butler package from this particular link. So this link will automatically have the latest version for the Linux system, Linux 64-bit system. And since you're already using a Docker with the Linux system, I think we can use that. And yeah, so let's see how the config changes for having the Butler to automatically publish our games, right? So as you guys can see, we already had this download Godot and download export templates, right? So right after this, before we start exporting, we'll also download this itch.io Butler CLI client. So to get this, first as usual, we just wget the butler.zip as an output from this particular URL that they have given. So this URL will always have the latest version of the Butler. So we are just exporting, we're just downloading it to this file called butler.zip, and then we are unzipping that butler.zip. And once you unzip, we'll have this particular CLI executable for which we are giving the chmod executable permissions inside our Linux container, right? And once we do that, we can basically just use this butler command, just like how we are using the Godot command over here, right? So right after every single export, we'll be adding this new run statement where we'll be uploading the build, the specific build to itch.io, right? So in order to upload to itch.io, all we need to do is just run the butler command with push, which means it's going to publish. And we're going to give the folder that we are going to publish. So basically, if you can see here, we exported it in top-down shooter client. And in this client folder, we created a folder called build/Windows 64, right? And inside this build/Windows 64 is where we have exported our file, right? So all we need to do is just point to this folder, and we just have to give our itch username and then the game name that we want to publish. So one thing to keep in mind here is, yeah, as you can see, I have to add the itch username over here, right? So if you go to here in your environment variables in CI, you can see that I have added these two new things. So one is the itch username, which is my nothing but my itch.io username, and then my Butler API key. So to get the Butler API key, what you need to do is go to itch.io and then go to your profile. So settings, account settings, right? So the settings will open the account settings, and in the account settings at the bottom, if you go to this developer, you can see this API keys. So click on this API keys and then generate a new key to get yourself a new key, right? And this is the key that we'll be using to publish. So coming back to the config.yaml. So here you can see we are using the itch username, and we are going to give the the game name as well here. Okay, so this game name, we have to make sure that we first of all create this game in itch.io. So if you can see here, I have already created this the same exact game name in itch.io for survival shooter MMO. So this is the name that that I had given, and this has to be present and it has to exactly match, because this is where we are exactly going to publish. So we are basically going to publish under our username and under the game that we have created, right? So if you go back here, we can see that under our username, we are going to publish it in the game that we have just created. And this is also going to be a Windows build, and this is going to be a 30. So first of all, we are going to build a 64-bit build, right? So this is going to be a Windows build, and this is going to be a 64-bit build. Okay. The way the butler works is, since we, as you can see here, we nowhere mentioned anything like API key or something like that. So if you can go to the environment, we have this butler API key, right? But if you see search here, we didn't mention the butler API key anywhere. So what happens is that this butler CLI2, it automatically runs, it automatically tries to get this butler API key in the background. So all you need to do is just add it to the environment variable and then just forget it. Okay. So whenever you run the butler CLI, it will automatically take this butler API key, and then we'll be publishing it in our itch username and then the game name. Okay. So this is how we mention the package name. So for Windows 64, we have to mention it as Win-64. For Windows 32, it's Win-32. And for Linux, it's Linux 64 and Linux 32. And then finally, we have the Mac. So for Mac, all we need to do is just mention it as Mac. Okay. And the way the itch.io will use this is like, if you go to the survival shooter MMO, so as you can see, there's already a couple of versions published over here. So as you can see here, we have this Mac icon, Linux icon, Windows icon over here, right? So itch.io uses this flag to determine which environment that we have published this particular package to, right? So that is how itch.io determines. So be sure that this matches exactly so that you get the proper icon over here. Okay. So let me just commit this and try running it once. So itch.io publishing, right? So that's essentially what we did. So if I commit this and then if I do a git push, so as soon as I push, you should see the pipeline running. So if I just refresh it, okay, so there is some config error. Let me quickly check what is the error. This is why you need to use the built-in configuration file so that these kind of small issues you can catch early on. I have to go to the latest config. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is the issue over here, right? So I just have to remove this last colon over here and then commit this. So as soon as I push now, we should be seeing a new workflow running. And yep, that's just now started. So as you can see, currently we have version 7, 5, 4, 4, and 3, right? So once everything goes green, we should see a version bump in each of this. Okay, it's downloading the Godot export templates. The last run, it took around like 2 minutes, 34 seconds. So this is the duration that we are consuming, right? So if you go to the plan, so we have, as I told before, we have like 6,000 minutes, build minutes per month, right? So as you can see, with all those runs, I have used around 52 credits out of the 30,000 credits that I'm given every single month, right? So this is like pretty generous in my opinion. So for indie developers like us, we can easily make use of this as much as possible, right? And yes, it's still running. Okay, it's uploading to So it has successfully uploaded for the Windows 64 build, right? You can see here. So use the butler status slash something. This is our username and this is our game name, and then Windows 64 bit, right? So it has automatically published to our itch.io. So let me just refresh it. So as you can see, it's version 7 and version 4, right? So if I click hit refresh, you can see there's now version 8, right? So this has automatically been published. All right, guys. So this is how you publish to itch.io, and this is just a warning, by the way. It will still go green. And all of them have actually published, and the entire pipeline has gone green, right? If I refresh it, everything has been version bumped one time. Awesome. Thank you guys for watching. In the next video, we'll probably cover how to build for Android. So please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys.